We're waiting for the results of the toss. About 2 minutes till kickoff. Starting out 100 years of high school football, Parkersburg High School. And it looks like the Big Reds are going to receive in the north end zone. Defending, and Riverside will defend the south goal. Tonight, a special night. We had our Hall of Fame inductions with Piggy Barnes, Jim Bargelow, Kennedy Award winner, and Mike Lance, 3-time state wrestling champion. And that was a nice little ceremony before kickoff. And they do that about once every season, or through the fall season and the winter season. This winter they'll put a couple more in, I think. I think that's how they did it last year. I'm not exactly sure. But that was a nice little ceremony, don't you think, John?
It was, Shenny. It's a nice thing they do. The Big Red Hall of Fame continues to grow every year, and there's a lot of worthy athletes, and 3 worthy athletes were inducted this evening. As you mentioned, Jim Bargelow, I believe the first Kennedy Award winner from Parkersburg High School.
No.
Was he not the first?
No, Jim Early was the first.
Jim Early was first. You're correct. Thank you for the correction there. Holmes Butch Shaver was the introducer for him, and did a fine job, and many deserving athletes for that.
Yep.
Glad to see those 3 inducted this evening. Well,
kicking off for Riverside tonight is Chuck Irby, and back deep we've got Mason Roberts for the Big Reds, and he's not going to make it to Mason, and that's going to be Joey Lindeman at the up back, and he's going to bring it to the right side of the field. He's got a little bit of running room, breaks a tackle, he's out over the 40-yard line, and he's going to go down at about the 42-yard line. There's a little skirmish over there on the sidelines, and the Big Reds are going to start 1st and 10 from their own 42, John.
Nice starting position. Joey made a nice spin move there about the 32, 33-yard line, picked up another 10 yards, and good starting position for the Big Reds this evening on the 42-yard line.
Kyle Suffin's going to bring the Big Reds up. He's under center. Joey Lindemood's going to be the lone setback. They're back in that wing tee with Tony Morrison and Andy Thomas as wingbacks. Andy Thomas is going in motion. They're going to give the Joey right off the left side. He's going to go for looks like a gain of about 7. It's going to be 2nd and 3. And, boy, there was a hole there you could drive a Mack truck through.
There was. He went right up the left side of the line, and he had plenty of room to run on that. 2nd and 3. Picking up 7 yards on the play.
Their 2nd and 3, we're in the same set as we were before. Kyle's under center. They're going to send Tony in motion. They're going to give the Joey off the right side. Joey's going to get, looks like about another 7 yards there, John, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Big Reds inside inside the Riverside 45-yard line. I'll tell you what, Riverside's running people in and out.
I'm not sure Riverside was quite ready. Maybe it's the white pants the Big Reds have on this evening. That caught us off guard as well.
Stephen Ransbottoms comes in for the Big Reds, or for Riverside. P.J. Pausley's going out wide. Andy Thomas going in motion. They're going to give it to Joey again off the left side, and Joey's going to get stood up at the line of scrimmage. He's going to break the tackle, and looks like he had about a yard gain there, and broke the tackle, did a little spin move, like you said, and went for about a loss of about 3. So it's going to be about 2. So it's going to be 2nd and 12 from our own 47-yard line.
Joey was fighting hard for the yardage there, but ended up trying to fight a little too hard and losing a few.
Now we're still in that wing formation. Joey's in the fullback position. Kyle's under center. They're going to send Tony Morrison in motion. They're going to give the Joey right up the gut. That's 4 plays in a row to Joe. And he's going to get 2. He's going to get that back, and it's going to be looks like 3rd and 10 from the 3rd and 10 from the 45-yard line of the Warriors.
Big Reds started out with good field possession tonight, Shenny, and a couple plays crossed midfield, got a 1st down, and now they're stuck in a 3rd and long situation.
Well, Julius Holbrook just limped off the field for Riverside. He's a starter. He's 6'1", 255. He's a 10th grader. And I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Tony's in motion. They're going to fake the handoff to Joey up the middle. They're running the option to Tony, and Tony's going to lose the handle on that one. Is going to fumble out of bounds, and that didn't look like a bad pitch to me. I think he should have been able to pull that in. I think he had his eyes on the defender instead of the ball. And we started a good drive there. Now looks like Kyle's going to have to punt it away.
Riverside seemed to have that pitch out covered pretty well.
It's Tyler Warner. Tyler's a 6'4", 200-pound 10th grader punting for the Big Reds. And back deep is Josh Clark for the Riverside Warriors. And Tyler gets off a nice punt inside the 10. He's going to take it about the 7, and Big Reds are closing in on him. Matt Lindemood missed the tackle there. I don't know exactly what happened. Looks like he got his feet caught up or something there, but he's going to get a gain of about 15 yards, and the Riverside Warriors got the ball at about the 24-yard line. 1st and 10.
Well, the Big Reds came out of the gate pretty strong there. Got a first down on just 2 plays, Shenny, and crossed midfield, but they weren't able to do much after that. Got a decent punt away, but Riverside gets the ball here, 1st and 10 on the 25. You know, Riverside and Parkersburg have a history of some pretty hard-fought games.
Oh, this was a natural rivalry from the get-go. 2 of the largest schools in the state of West Virginia. Riverside's first game, first year they played, lost to PHS in the state finals in a great game. And not much going there. Josh Clark, the quarterback for Riverside. And I'll tell you what, I would say that you're not going to be able to run on the Big Reds, but after last week, I'm not exactly sure if that's
That was a tough game. Tough game last week. Of course, for those of you who don't know, who are watching this, PHS and Beckley Woodrow Wilson had a hard-fought game last week down in Beckley, and Beckley came away the victor there. They have a tough team this year.
Well, Riverside coming out in the pro set. Josh Clark under center, and I can't make out the number. Dustin Williams and Chad McClure in the backfield, and they're going to give it to Chad off the left side, and there's nothing there. Chad's 5'8", 165-pound 11th grader. On the year, he has 29 rushes for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's 4 yards a carry.
Not bad, but against his stingy Big Red defense, it doesn't look like Riverside, at least on the first couple plays, is able to muster too much of a game. The defense is playing pretty strong.
Well, that front 7 for the Big Reds is always is notoriously stout. And right now it looks like they've got 8 in the box, and there's nothing there again. And who was that for the Big Reds waiting on? It's Zach Garrett. And Tony Morrison's over there waiting, so it looks like 3 plays and out for Riverside. It's going to be 4th and about 7.
A 3rd and long situation there, a potential passing situation. Riverside opted to run a sweep out to the left-hand side. Didn't work for them. They only picked up 3 yards in 3 plays.
Now, Matt Humphrey's back to punt for Riverside. That's a little different punt formation than I'm used to seeing. And Mason Roberts is back deep, but it's a bad snap. He's going to take it on the hop. And it's blocked and recovered by Jeremy Rhodes. He blocked the punt, bounced it perfect, right back up into his arms. He ran it in for the touchdown. That's going to make it 6-0 Big Reds. And here comes Bobby Hopkins on to attempt the extra point. Wow, you could not have done that. Bad snap, skipped it to him. I thought he was going to recover, and Rhodes laid out for it. Batted it down just like dribbled like basketball. Bounced right back up to him, and he ran it in for a touchdown. What a play.
That was wonderful. That was beautiful. Looked like the Big Reds were holding them, going to get good field position. Special teams comes up with a huge play. The snap was a little low, wasn't there, but I'll tell you what, they got the heat on there, and they got it done. Nice touchdown by special teams.
There were 3 of them there waiting on it. Bobby Hopkins is up and good. 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. We're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors. It's Big Red 7, Riverside 0. We'll be back after these messages. Tyler Warner kicking off for the Big Reds, and back deep for Riverside is Adam Wentz. And I'll tell you what a play. We're still going nuts over that. That was a perfect. You couldn't ask for a better punt.
No, the Big Red faithful are happy with what they saw on that.
And looks like Tyler got up underneath that one a little bit. And they're going to let the ball bounce. I think we're going to have a wild one here. Matt Lindemood made up for that missed tackle. On the punt last time and made a nice tackle there.
We have a flag down, Shenny, on the 8-yard line. Not sure what that is. I didn't see it.
I don't know either. That was awful deep to throw.
That was behind the receivers. They're waving the flag off, I believe.
It was Andre Watkins on the punt return.
And that wasn't
a kickoff return, I'm sorry.
That was not a long punt, but it was an effective punt. I'm sorry. Thank you. It wasn't a long kickoff, but an effective one. And then it had a good hang time and allowed the kicking team to get down there and make the play and put them inside the 20-yard line, put Riverside inside the 20-yard line.
Matt Lindemood wrapped him up, but he wasn't going to get away. And they waved it. I think he was reaching for the sandbag there, to tell you the truth.
Riverside has a player coming on the field late. Looks like they were short one.
Well, that's typical for Riverside, to tell you the truth. They find themselves in that situation a lot, I think. That was Adam Walls coming in late. And there's a shot. Helmet off.
Goodness.
Andy Thomas was coming hard. And as you can tell, Jonathan Foster was looking for his head after that one.
Folks, I want to tell you what, that's worth watching the replay on CAS cable because Andy Thomas put a stick on the Riverside Warrior receiver who is
about going out there
still,
again.
I think he's still wondering what's going on because his helmet popped off and he held onto the ball. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, he did.
It looked like he was able to pick up the first down, but
Look,
my goodness, nice
he
hit
didn't
by
get
Andy
it. It's going to
Thomas.
be second, a couple inches, but I'll tell you what, he'll think next time when he's out there floating around in that defensive backfield, he'll be looking for number 2.
That was the first pass by Riverside, and it was complete for about 10 yards. Looks like it's just going to be about an inch or two short of a first down, though. That's awful close.
Well, Josh Clark's going to bring him up. They're back into that. Pro setting with Dustin or Adam Walls leading the way along with Chad McClure. According to our depth chart, the fullback Adam Walls is not the starting fullback, so I don't know exactly what the situation is with the fullback, but Big Reds are piling everybody into the box, and they're going to give it to Walls, and he's going nowhere. I don't even think he got the first down.
He didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He lost yardage on that play, Shenny, and Riverside
they're going to
try and work the run, but it isn't working for them so
they're
far.
going to measure this again. I figured they would. It's going to make it. I don't think they got it. It's going to make it third and about an inch.
I'll tell you what I think they got was a pretty generous spot because I don't think he made it back to the 25-yard line.
I'll tell you what, they're wearing Pooch and HK out already. This is the third time they've been out on the field, I think.
That's why they got the shorts and the tennis shoes on. Those guys need a little exercise every once in a while.
Yeah. And they're short again. About to say, looks like he may have lost an inch there. So it's going to make it a third. That's going to make it. Yeah, it's going to make it 3rd and 1 for the Warriors as.
Riverside has not been successful running the ball yet. The clock isn't stopped at this point for the measurement, but has been continuing to tick.
Should be started again.
With a pretty quick first period so far.
I think we're going to see Josh on a little quarterback sneak there. You can tell by the way he's set up.
Yeah,
he didn't get it.
It ain't going to happen. No.
There's another helmet off.
And I want to tell you what.
He lost his helmet. He lost it. He's moved back. He's even farther back. They're going to punt. It's 4th down. It's 4th down. They don't even have to measure this one. Oh, come on, ref. You know where the ball was. Now, you know what? With me saying that, making that comment right there, as all of you know out there, I don't have, referees and I don't get along. But one of the things is that I was made aware of this evening was this is the same officiating crew that we had last weekend down at GW, and I'm not blaming the loss on them because we did, or Beckley. Not blaming the loss on them because you know what? The Big Reds, from what I wasn't able to go.
They lost another 3 inches, by the way.
Yes, was not the official's fault that we lost last week, but I guess it was not real well done. And this is the same crew.
There was a call though that I've never in my number of years watching football seen, and that's one where the officials called the play dead. And it's again the same official.
Matt Humphrey's going to punt for the Warriors, and we've got a different guy back deep in Andy Thomas, the headhunter.
We'll come back to that call last week and let you
Joey's coming off the corner here. I don't think they can. And Andy's going to be able to pull this one in, I think, and go with it. And he lost it. He lost it in the lights or something. I don't know what happened, but Riverside got it back. And I'm not exactly sure why. Andy looked like he may have lost it or something. He had his hands above his head. He wasn't taking the normal cradle catch that a punter would take. Had it above his head. And you can't say he lost it in the lights. The lights aren't high enough. But I don't understand why they changed punt returns. I mean, Mason Roberts was back here earlier in the game, and he's done a good job all year. So, sophomore mistake by Andy Thomas, that negates that nice hit he had a minute ago.
It does. That effectively is like a long completion for Riverside, even though they didn't gain a yard.
Well, that's going to make it 1st and 10.
Last 3 plays.
From the Big Red 36-yard line, as Josh Clark's going to bring them up. Out wide for the Big Reds is Chris Crabtree, or for Riverside is Chris Crabtree. And I'll tell you what, these guys that they have listed on their depth chart, these aren't their starters. And Josh Jenkins is waiting on that play as Matt Humphreys is coming back across on a little misdirection, and Josh is waiting on it. Like I said before, John, these guys are not number 1 on their depth chart, is what we received from the Riverside coaches before the game, so I don't know exactly what what's going on, but I don't know if they have some injuries or what, but
I don't know, but I can tell you Josh Jenkins, being a sophomore, made a heck of a play.
oh, yeah.
Coming across line of scrimmage, dropping him for a 3-yard loss.
I got over to OU Pitt last week and got to watch his brother Paul play, and I'll tell you what, Paul had a heck of a game for OU at starting left guard, and he's done a great job over at OU as they upset Pitt last weekend. Josh Clark's under center. Chad McClure's, and he's coming, and
Felt the heat coming out.
Sergio Bracamontes was coming, and that was close to being a little bit late.
I don't know. He let up as he came to him, and you know what? He heard the footsteps coming, so he had to get the ball off, and it was overthrown. It was a good defensive play by the Big Reds again. The Big Reds are playing stellar defense so far this evening. The only error so far, the fumble.
Well, there's a penalty on Riverside. I
return.
didn't see what he called. He's going to tell us. I think the official's going to tell us right now. I'm not exactly. Was there motion? Is that what it was, or was there a legal shift, or what? I didn't see.
While the officials are marking this off, Shenny, let's go back to what we were talking about just a minute ago. This, as you said, is the same officiating crew. Ineligible receiver by Riverside, wisely refused by the Big Reds, which makes it third down, loss of downs.
Third 13.
They didn't gain a yard, but this is the same officiating crew that was in Beckley last week with Parkersburg. And as you mentioned, there was one play in particular, which we'll get back to in a minute because they're lining up on the ball now at this point.
Chad McClure at the top of the eye with Josh Clark under center. And here comes Sergio again, and he's going to go off the right side. There's nobody over there. He's going to get some. He's got some real estate acquired, and that's going to be about an 18-yard gain down to the 19-yard line. That's a nice run.
Well, you know, typical of the games between Riverside and Parkersburg, big plays make this game. One big play, the Big Reds are ahead 7-0 on a block punt, run in for a touchdown. One fumble on a punt reception by the Big Reds, and Riverside kind of gets a freebie with the ball back and is able to convert a third and long situation and put themselves in a good position inside the Big Red 20-yard line to potentially put some points on the board here, Shenny.
Well, they're in the red zone, so we're going to see what they can put together. Are they going to spread it out here? Josh Clark's up under center with Chad McClure at the tailback position again, and shrinks to the right side. They're going to bring it to Chad off the left side, and he's going nowhere as Josh Jenkins and Sergio Bracamontes are waiting on him. It looks like that's going to be a no gain, maybe a loss, about a half yard. It's going to make it 2nd and 11 according to the scoreboard. We're under 5 minutes in the first quarter. I'll tell you what, this quarter is going to come a lot faster than the Greenbrier East game did.
Yeah, oh boy, isn't it? I think it was already 21-0 with Greenbrier East.
And it was the first quarter went over to late 30.
2nd and long.
Josh Clark under center again, and they don't move much out of that pro set formation. Tony Morrison closed in on that one quick.
I'll tell you what, Riverside has had absolutely zero success running the ball so far in this first period. And I will tell you, if it continues that way this evening, it will be a long night for Riverside. And Parkersburg, should they continue to stop the run as they've been able to so far, should be triumphant and be able to continue to not only stop Riverside, but push them back as they have on a number of running plays so far.
Well, Josh Clark's going to bring up the Warriors to the line on 3rd and about 9, just inside the Big Red 20. And they're running a reverse, John. And he's wide open. And he threw it away. I'll tell you what, something recovered well on that. And was able to get back, use some of that height. And that ball I don't think was completable anyway. I think he threw that out of bounds.
No, I think they obviously were kind of pulling from their bag there to try and find a play where they could get close to the goal line or even in the end zone. But obviously didn't have any success. The Big Reds had it pretty well covered on defense. And Josh Jenkins was there again in the backfield waiting for the pass.
Now they're lining up. Chase Upton's lining up for a 35-yard field goal, and that's way short.
Not even close.
That's way short. He kicked it into the long jump hit.
So it barely made it across the goal line, actually. The Big Red defense holds after an error on the punt return. And as they've been doing all year, Big Red's been playing some pretty good defense. Riverside not really able to move the ball much except for one play. They had one 3rd and long situation. They were able to convert. And unless they start passing the ball, which could result in some
back
gain.
into that wing with Joey at the fullback, Posley out wide, and they're going to send Tony in motion. They're going to give it to Joey off the right side, and there's a hole. Joey's tiptoeing through there a little bit and breaking some tackles, and he's going to get about 10. Now, he might be a little bit short of the first down there, but that's about a 9.5 yards. They may measure that one. Looks like they're going to measure that one. Nope, he's going to. Now, they're not going to measure that, but they measured 3 plays in a row the other way. Oh, man, here we go.
That is right
but,
on.
well, I don't know. We don't have as good an angle as we would like. But Suffin back up under center with Joey at the fullback position. And Suffin's just going to take a sneak up the middle for about 2 yards. It's going to give the Big Reds a first down. We're under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from about the 32-yard line of the Big Reds. And hopefully we can put a drive together here and get 7 more.
Well, the clock continues to tick, and as you mentioned a minute ago, Shane, it's been a pretty quick first period.
The play clock's at 0. We've been having trouble with the play clocks all year long. I don't know exactly what the problem is. They're going to give it to Tony off the right side, and Tony's going to get about 5 there, so it's going to make it.
Well, I can tell
the
you.
The scoreboard says 4th and 10, but I don't.
That's obviously not right. It's now 2nd down and 5. As far as the play clock goes, I can tell you this. The officials have complete control over that play clock from their hip. So if there's a technological snafu, then so be it. But they should be able to have control from their hip.
They're going to give it to Joey again right up the middle. And
makes a nice move. Cuts to the left-hand side. Fumbles
oh, my
ball.
God.
What?
I'll tell you what. The ball was stripped. Joey spun around. The ball was stripped and bounced right back into Steve Ransbottom's hands. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Riverside gets the ball back on what looks like to be the Big Red 43-yard line. A good run, and it's all wiped away with a strip of the ball. I'll tell you what, that's what you coach your kids to do. That kid came up from behind him. He was coming up to make the play, and he chopped the arm, tomahawked him, ripped it out, and they've got the ball back 1st and 10. And I'll tell you what, the wind's starting to whistle.
The wind is picking up a little bit. Otherwise, it's a beautiful night for football here at Parkersburg High School with a full moon shining down on us this evening.
There's quarterback Josh Clark off the right side. He's going to get about a yard. The official signals to keep the clock running. It's going to make it 2nd and looks like to be about 9.
Kind of reminiscent of that Utah-TCU game the other night. It looked to me like he was clearly out of bounds, and clock should have stopped, but it continues to tick.
Coming into this game, Josh Clark had 28 rushing attempts for 53 yards for about 1.9 yards a carry. He didn't have any touchdowns.
2 receivers here to the near side.
And Josh is in the shotgun. And here comes Tony Morrison in his face along with Josh Jenkins.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, he's done that.
It isn't going to last very long.
Let him down. Come on, somebody come up and make a tackle. And I'll tell you what, there's some movement down there. He about got that ball away. If he had a little better arm, we'd have been in trouble. Andy Thomas was coming up thinking he was going to make the play, pull it in and run, and he released it. Andy was able to recover, showing his athletic ability there, but just by the fingertips was he able to bat that ball away.
You know, the Parkersburg Big Red offense has not run very many plays.
No.
To date. And the plays that they've run have been pretty strong. They've been able to move the ball. Of course, 7 points were scored by the special team. But, of course, the errant turnover there has allowed Riverside to get the ball, and now they're in a 3rd and long situation. Big Red's hoping to get the ball back.
In a shotgun. And Sergio's coming. Here comes Sergio. And that ball is intercepted by Mason Roberts at midfield. I'll tell you what, they got some pressure on him. Sergio came through, gutted Josh Clark's face there, and he had to go for a quick release and overthrew his receiver, which wasn't going to be a first down anyway. They were there. They were honing in on it and hit Mason Roberts right in the numbers, and the Big Reds are going to have the 1st and 10 right at midfield.
Good field position. The defense has played extremely strong this evening, forcing Riverside to go away from the run, get back into passing situations, what they have not been able to do very well this evening.
Look up Tony in motion. They're going to give it right back to Joey. And Joey's got a hole on the left side. I don't know where he's going. And I'll tell you what, he saw something we didn't see, but he cut back, gained a couple yards after it. He's going to get about 6 yards on that carry.
6 yards carry is all you need.
Yeah. You get 6 yards in a cloud of dust.
You get 6 yards every carry, and you're going to win the game every time.
Unless you fumble.
Unless you fumble, get the ball stripped away.
Well, we're down underneath a minute.
Clock continues down under a minute, and the wind could become a factor later in the game. I tell you, it's starting to pick up here, as you mentioned, Shenny.
It feels like rain's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. The flags are whipping in the wind. And
I'll tell you what, I don't see any clouds. The moons, we got a full moon out tonight.
Can't see any clouds.
There's some movement there. The Big Reds, the ball didn't get to them. I don't think our center got the ball back to Suffin, and the rest of the team was moving, and we were standing. Suffin was standing still.
Well, that's a 5-yard penalty by the Big Reds. They did jump off a little early. That negates the majority of the 7 yards that was picked up on the first down. So now it's a second long situation. But the way the Big Reds have been able to run this ball so far this evening, Shenny, I don't think they're going to have too much trouble picking up another first down if they just continue to block and run the way they have so far. There's only 34
protect the ball
seconds and ticking in the first period.
Well, wind feels good, doesn't it? It's fall. It's fall.
It's fall. It's
Leaves
football
are going to start
season.
falling. They're going to give it to Mason off the right side. He's going to cut it right back up in the middle, and he's going to get about 5 there, so it's going to make it 3rd and 3. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go. It's going to click down. We're down underneath 10 seconds.
I think that's the last play of the first period.
Quarter. So 7-0 Big Reds from Stadium Field. We will be back. Looks like after these messages is we're going to change sides, ladies and gentlemen. It's under center. We're back into the pro set with Joey Lindemood at the top of the I formation, and they're going to give it to Joey off the right side. He's going to get the first down and about 3 or 4 extra yards, and he pulled 10 of the Riverside Warriors along with him, and it's going to be first down and 10. I'll tell you what, the Big Reds pretty much, I don't want to say dominated because the score's only 7-0, but they pretty much controlled the game, just for a couple stupid turnovers. And this ball game could be, honestly, it could be 21-0.
Yeah, and also, Shenny, I'll tell you what, the Big Reds are one of the, if not the best conditioned team in the state of West Virginia. I would not be surprised in the second half if you don't see the Big Reds extend their lead. Of course, the second period just started. It's only 7-0, but they are dominating it so far.
They're going to send Tony in motion. They're going to give it to him. He's going to give it right back to Andy. Andy's going to fumble it.
Unless they continue to turn the ball over.
You know what? You're running the ball north-south. You're doing a great job, and then you want to hand the ball off twice in the backfield where the defense is penetrating. I don't understand that. So we're going to give the ball right back to him. That's 3 turnovers in the first half, almost in the first quarter. We're 29 seconds in the second quarter. That's what beat us last week, and I would think we would take steps to protect the ball. I mean, you can't change your whole game plan because you're afraid of fumbling, but I just don't think what's
got to be frustrating for the Big Reds is they're controlling the ball game.
Yeah.
Except for the turnovers. They're running the ball. They're doing what they want. They're stopping Riverside.
10 years ago, when we went to that wing tee and they started doing all that handing off in the backfield, I thought, my dad and I sat up in the stands, and my dad told me, he said, that's 1950 when he played, and you don't do that anymore. You can't hand the ball off 3 times in the backfield.
When you hand the ball off twice, that's 2 opportunities to miss the handoff.
Really, it's 3. You take the snap.
Well, sure.
You hand off the ball once, and you hand it. That's 3 opportunities you have to fumble the snap. And when you've had problems all year long with handling the ball, well, not all year long, but you had fumble problems last week.
It in essence is a tight ball game from the scoring standpoint, 7-0.
One play. It only takes 1 play, and we're 7-7.
Oh, absolutely. But the Big Reds have dominated the ball game, with the exception of 1 play. Riverside has 1 first down on a 3rd and long situation. They were able to convert, and other than that, they haven't been able to gain much of anything up the middle, right, left, wherever they're trying. And
the Big Reds have got to lose these mistakes. They got to keep these mistakes at a minimum because their schedule does not allow them to make these kind of mistakes and win. I mean, Riverside, they're coming in here 1-1, and they got hammered by Beckley like we did. But they beat probably a pretty decent Hurricane team by a point. So they're not the Riverside teams that we're used to seeing.
I tell you, I don't agree. I don't think that the Big Reds got hammered by Woodrow Wilson, although the final score was similar. It was a very tight game, and the final score was not indicative of the tight game that was played. They really didn't get hammered. by Riverside.
What was the final? 27-20 or 27-7? They got hammered.
From the scoring standpoint, from the playing standpoint, they didn't.
That's going to be Josh Clark's going to get about 4 yards. He's the best weapon they've had all night, so carrying the ball. So,
well, and the other thing is you can't keep the defense on the field all night. I mean, the offense turned the ball over 3 times. Well, special teams 1 time, a total of 3 times the ball's been turned over, given right back to Riverside. And if the Big Red defense stays on the field all night, they're going to eventually get tired. A lot of these guys are playing 2 ways. But like I said, it only takes 1 play, and it's a 7-7 ball game. We're starting all over again.
Wow. Tony Morrison sniffed that one out big time. Chad McClure, he almost took the handoff on that one.
Tony Morrison should get rushing yards for that play.
Chad McClure.
My goodness.
That
was deep in the backfield.
A 7-yard loss.
Tony Morrison,
make it 3rd and 12.
Nice job on that, Tony. Excellent job on that. 3rd and long situation now. They had a 3rd and about the same position here, 12 yards, when they converted on the last time, and I believe it was a sweep to the right-hand side. They have twins to that same side this time, and let's see what Riverside comes out with.
We're back in the shotgun. Josh Clark is back in the shotgun.
It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. The Big Reds are too stingy. They're too tough on defense.
Chad McClure, 5'8", 165-pound junior, and brought that right back into the
now,
heart of the
let's see who's back there to return the punt this time. You got to think Andy Thomas.
I can see him going. 31.
Andy Thomas lost his opportunity after fumbling that one away, which the defense held on. Of course, and Riverside missed on the field goal that they attempted. The clock continues to roll with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half.
Matt Humphreys on the punt forward.
We have too many guys on the field, or do we have an illegal substitution? I'm not counting 1, 2, 3.
I'm not sure.
I think there's 12 guys on the field.
No, there's only 11. Play again. You can't tell because the clock's not working.
The clock's not working.
They're keeping it on the field.
We'll have to inquire with
Count your head.
Grim Scientific on that and find out why there's a snafu here with the electrical.
We've had problems with that thing since we bought it. Keep the clock running. Well, there's a problem now with the clock. The clock continued to run.
It sure did. But another 30 seconds ticked off that clock. So the officials are having to keep the clock, both the game clock and the 25-second clock, on the field.
Doug Markley, the defensive and offensive line coach of the Big Reds, is yelling that there should be about 20 seconds added to the clock, to the times, which would make it 9:51, and that's what they did.
Now, unless the Big Reds turn it over or another block, looks like they should end up with good field position, close to midfield.
Yeah, the Big Reds are spread out again, and Joey's over there. Look, man, he may be all by himself over there. He's too fast to leave over there. That kid ain't going to get to him. There he comes, untouched. And he came across.
The ball took a straight up, almost Big Red bounce, and comes to settle down about the 32, 33-yard line.
And the Big Reds are going to have the ball 1st and 10 with just under 10 minutes to go on their own 32, leading 7-0 here from Stadium Field. Postal Annex player of the game, it's too early to tell right now.
Right now, it would have to be the defense at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, they
all
really.
11 of them.
Yeah, I mean, all the defense has been able to stymie Riverside. The offense hasn't scored any points. They've moved the ball, but they haven't scored any points. They haven't held on to the ball.
Andy Thomas in motion. They're going to give it to Joey off the left side, and Joey's going to scramble through there for about 9.
I'm counting. Shenny, if you hang on just a second, I can't count this high, but I think I see 11 Riverside players trying to take Joey down. Is that right? I'm telling you what, he's a tough cookie to take down. He gained about another 4 or 5 yards after he was hit, and if he continues that, I think it's going to be a long night for Riverside, to be honest with you.
P.J. Pausley coming off the field for the Big Reds, and that's Jeremy Rhodes going in. And we're back into our little wing with Andy, and Andy's going to go in motion. Joey's at the fullback position. We're going to give it back to Joey. Joey's going to go, and he's just rumbling, man.
Now, I will count 7 yards that time after he was hit at midfield.
I mean,
he went down at the 43-yard line.
It's a 20-yard gain.
I'm telling you what, the holes that are opening up, Shenny, even you or I are. I know that's pushing
in there.
We're not in the best physical condition, I know, but you and I could probably run through that. Maybe not quite as far, but we could at least fall forward through those holes at that line of scrimmage.
I could have got us a yard or two, maybe.
Joey's put some yardage up already, even though he doesn't.
That's good because the last 2 games Joey hasn't been able to showcase what he could do. That first game he played awesome, and the last 2 games took him out.
Oh, and he makes a nice move.
Good job, Joey Lindemood.
And there's no doubt in my mind, Joey Lindemood is considered as one of the best players in the state of West Virginia this year and has been recognized by everybody across the state as a candidate for the Kennedy Award. And I think he's starting to show a little bit of it here tonight. He's moving the ball and moving it pretty well when he gets it and making some good reads and cutbacks and running strong.
Well, Joey, not only is he big and strong, he's fast, he's elusive, but he's got some escapability about him. And he's just a total package as far as I'm concerned. And he's in motion with fake the handoff. We're going to give to Joey again right off the left side, same play. Joey's going to get about 4 there. It's going to be.
I'm not sure in the distance. I may have seen lightning. I don't mean to be premature, but
I'll tell you what.
The wind did pick up.
The moon was right in front of us a minute ago, and it is totally gone.
We had a full moon in front. That would be typical of a Parkersburg Riverside football game. These 2 teams have had some memorable games in the past. And it typically seems that when it counts, the Big Reds win. They beat Riverside in the playoffs a number of times. They did see lightning, and I think we called it. They did. I think they're going to call a delay here and see what happens in the sky. And we have I tell you what, with
no, wait a minute. There's a timeout call. There may have been a timeout. Now here comes Mr. Lance and the principal, Ralph Board, out onto the field. And I don't know exactly what the rule is. I mean, they're sending the football team, looks like, to the locker room. I'm not exactly what the rule is, how much time you have to wait.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, what I thought I saw, unfortunately, is coming to be.
Dustin Combs is on the field, and Mr. Board, the principal, is pleading his case. Let's finish at least the first quarter.
The first half. Looks like Riverside is heading towards the locker room. The Big Reds are lined up, ready to head that way as well.
There's Dean telling us what's going to happen. Oh, man.
20 minutes?
30.
30 minutes. Folks, don't go anywhere. In fact, order a pizza. Sit down. Or you could go visit our friends at the 19th Street Country Club. They might enjoy a 30-minute delay as well, but looks like that lightning was just a little too bright, too close to us. Unfortunately, as we suspected, the wind has picked up. The full moon that was shining bright earlier this evening has disappeared. Dark skies have prevailed. Lightning has taken control. And the officials have called for a 30-minute delay because of lightning in the air. So we also are going to have to take a delay from the game this evening, and we will be back as soon as we're able to.
At Stadium Field after about a 45-minute lightning delay, and it's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Big Reds from the Riverside 30, and they're going to give it to Joey off the right side, and Lindemood's going to go for about a yard. It looks like he got tripped up in the backfield. It's going to make it 3rd and about 5, and hopefully we can keep that clock running.
Yeah, it's been a long night this evening already, Shenny. As we heard during our 45-minute lightning delay, actually, as you say, there were 46 schools across the state of West Virginia that were under some kind of delay. But we're back in progress now.
Kyle under center, 3rd and 5, and he's going to take a snap. Wow, he took that stick right up the middle for about 10.
He had a nice hole. That was a good play call, and he ran it extremely well. Kyle had a hole that a Mack truck could have run through there, and he's a big boy, and he punched right through that line for not only 5 yards, but an additional 5 or 10, and tacked it on for another first down inside the 20-yard line. Big Reds are in the red zone now, Shenny.
Probably do that again. And they're going to give the Joey off the left.
Nice spin move.
He's going to go
in the end zone. Touchdown.
Joey had a lane to the end zone. Looked like he came back just so he could put a lick on that kid. But even from going out of bounds, he came in, dropped that shoulder, and went in for 6. So here comes Bobby Hopkins on and kicked the extra point.
I think you're right. Maybe he just was a little stiff from sitting down for 45 minutes. Felt he'd get a lick on somebody. Yeah. He did. He could have tiptoed in the corner of the end zone, but he came back a little bit and put his head down.
Did a nice job.
Yeah, did a nice job. Nice run. That makes it 13-0 Big Reds with 7:11 to go in the halftime which is about enough time for a full game.
We've got a penalty. I noticed that our long snapper the last couple of games has been Nathan Conley. After our first game was in the long snapping department, Nathan's been perfect since he's been in. Now the crowd is not what it was before. The visitor side crowd looks to be, but the home side crowd's not what it was before.
Well, Riverside, of course, they had a little farther to go if they were going to go home this evening. Quite a few Big Reds looks like did make their way home, but there's still a good crowd here on both sides of the field.
Bobby Hopkins on to kick the extra point. Kyle Suffin the holder, Nathan Conley the snapper. Nice snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. It's 14-0 with 7 minutes to go. We're going to stay here.
Yeah, we're going to stay here.
Watch the commercials long enough.
We've had a long enough break, and we appreciate your patience, those of you that are still with us here. And
Andrew Lowers, the Big Red Indian, running up and down the sidelines with the Parkersburg flag.
Well, that score 14-0 now. Parkersburg High School over the Riverside Warriors is a little more indicative of the way the game's been played so far. The Big Reds really have played a lot better than Riverside, and the scoreboard's starting to reflect it now at 14-0. There's still 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the first half, Shenny, and you got to think the guys had to sit down for a little bit.
Well, during the break you said, you'd like to see them come out and hit a quick strike, and you thought they would. It was, I think, 4 plays, and they were there. So, they got a little rest, and they're ready to go. We've got the sophomore Tyler Warner on the kick for the Big Reds. Back deep for Riverside is Adam Wentz, number 20. Tyler, it's a nice kick.
Puts it up high.
So taking it about the 4-yard line.
Big Reds converging in, makes a nice stop.
Joey Lindemuth on the tackle.
Joey's all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams. He's an all-around player.
He probably heard you wanted to name the defense player of the game in the first half, and he's making up for that fumble.
Yeah,
that strip.
That was a strip. He was running awful hard, and it was just a good strip. And kind of like that first touchdown the Big Reds had, where after the block punt, the ball just bounced right back in the hands of the Big Reds and walked into the end zone. Kind of similar where he was stripping the ball, bounced right in the Warriors' hands. Now the Warriors have a 1st and 10.
Josh Clark under center to start the second quarter for the Warriors, their first possession of this quarter. And he's got nowhere to go. Joey's there again with big Josh Jenkins coming down on top of him.
Josh
Sergio
and
Bracamanes
Serge
is there to make sure as well.
Looked like they had a little stun on there on the left-hand side. And I'll tell you what, the Big Red defense picked up where they left off, Shenny. And they've played really stellar all night tonight. Again, I can only remember one play of any decency from the Riverside offense. I think this defense is really flexing their muscles this evening.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Like you said, they've had some positive yards, but only one play went for any noticeable gain. And
there they go again.
Rolling left, and he's in trouble. And I'll tell you what, he had Josh Jenkins and
he didn't have time to set
Justin Atkins coming in on him, and those are 2 big boys.
He got back there in the pocket, and as soon as he was back in the pocket, he was having to pedal to get out of the way of the Big Reds as they were converging on him in the middle. He really had no chance to set up and even see his defenders. That makes a 3rd and long here, Shenny, about 13 yards for a first down, a 3rd and long situation. Clock continues to tick, 5:52 to go in the first half. Believe it or not, we're still in the first half here, folks. Oh, boy.
Excuse me.
The speed for the Big Red defense
almost picked off by Kyle Sutphin.
The speed for the Big Red defense is pretty prevalent there, and they had Riverside scrambling, barely getting that ball off, and Kyle Sutphin just about picked it off at midfield, tipped it to himself, couldn't quite hang on to it.
Tip drill.
Yep, tip drill brings up 4th and 13 situation, and the Big Reds have already blocked one punt, which was returned for an immediate touchdown this evening. See if they can't do it again. There's 5:35 to go in the
Andy
half.
Thomas back deep, and there goes Mason Roberts limping across the side. Now maybe now we know why he's not been back deep for the Big Reds. So you know he's suffering from an injury.
Oh my!
Joey Lindemood batted it down again, and the Big Reds are going to get the ball on the 1 yard, about the 3 yard line. We're lucky that didn't go in the end zone.
Well,
now we get the ball at the 3.
Big Reds get the ball. You can't get in a much better position than that, except in the end zone.
I told 2 punts. Rhodes blocked the first punt, but the last 2 punts I kept saying, Joey looks like he's coming. He's coming untouched. He's going to get there. He's going to get there. And that one, he got there.
You're right. He's so quick. Joey's so quick off the line, and they weren't able to pick him up. He had all kinds of time. He could have about tackled the punter on that one.
They're going to give it right back to him.
No, Kyle's going to keep it in the end zone.
Going to walk it in, and here we go, boys. Bobby Hopkins coming on to kick the extra point.
Well, folks, if you left us during the rain delay and are just getting back, you're not seeing things here. It's 20-0 Big Reds. We had a rain delay about 45 minutes. And
I'll tell you what, the crowd's coming back in.
Big Reds come back firing right out of the gates. Right. They had the ball when we came back from the rain delay. Put it in the end zone on 3 or 4 plays. Held Riverside quickly after the kickoff, 3 and out. In fact, they lost 3 yards. And now the extra point makes it 21-0 Big Reds after their second block punt of the evening. Really stepping it up here now. 21-0 Big Reds with 5:24 to go in the first half. And we might as well stay here, Shenny. Again, we have plenty of time for people to move around and for the sponsors to get their ads out there. And we're going to stick around for the rest of this first half and enjoy this game, which turned out to be a nice evening, even though we had some lightning move through, not a whole lot of rain. But
a lot of time left.
There's a lot of time left. It seems that Riverside is really on their heels, though, don't you think, Shenny?
Well, you know, I don't think that they came out for the start of the second quarter. Well, not the start of the second quarter, but halfway through the second quarter. And Big Reds came out and punched him right in the mouth with that first touchdown and got him off balance. And it's going to be hard to recover because the Big Reds are fired up. Their team is in good shape. And
they'll just pour it on the second half.
They're just going to pour it on the second half. So, you know, I don't want to say it's over by any stretch of the imagination. Crazier things have happened here on this stadium turf, but
we've all seen it.
It looks like it could get ugly.
Looks like we're going to be going through the motions here at this point.
Tyler Warner on the kickoff. Chad McClure back deep for the Warriors, and Chad's going to come up and take it.
The Big Reds got right through those lanes.
And he's going nowhere. He's out to the 30-yard line. So about a 20-yard return there for the Warriors, Chad McClure. And Chad is averaging, doesn't say how much he's averaging, to tell you the truth. He's their strong safety. He's playing strong safety and tailback, and they don't have him listed as one of their kickoff specialists on their depth chart. So I don't have any stats on him, but I'll tell you what, Andre Watkins, number 7, is averaging 54 yards a return on kickoff. I don't know if that's a misprint or if he's just maybe had one
just return it one time maybe.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good average. I think that's who I'd probably have back there deep. And they're going to hand it off to him. They're going to hand it off to McClure off the left side. There's nothing there.
I tell you, Riverside's got to understand that the run isn't working for them, guys. They're losing yardage, not gaining yardage on the run.
You're going to catch-22 there. You know, the run's not working. And you don't want to panic and start chucking the ball all over the field at the same time. And, you know, Dick Whitman and Ralph Hensley are smart guys. You know, they've been around a long time. Both have won state championships at different levels. And I'm sure they'll get everybody settled down. And we're looking at a little different set than we've seen all night out of Riverside. So
they got split receivers to the near side.
Joey is in the quarterback's face again. And there's a nice pass. It's only on second down. It's only going for about 3 yards. So, you know, the big thing, you know, they've completed some passes, but they've not gained any yards after the play. They're stopping the completion right there, and that's important.
Good, quick defense. Again, the Big Reds showing their speed as well as their skill and ability.
Flying to the ball.
Exactly. Riverside did pick up 4 yards on that play, but again, another 3rd and long situation, and I think they've only converted 1 third down at this point so far tonight.
They're back in the shotgun again. They got trips to the left.
Surge is going to go up the middle.
And he's going to get held up, but they're coming. And he threw it behind him. Tony Morris and Joey, they were all out there in his face.
If that pass would have been leading the receiver just a little bit more, he may have been able to grab hold of it and get a first down. But he like I said, he heard footsteps coming.
I see Matt Winans coming on for the Big Reds. He's a sophomore, played special teams extraordinaire. And Matt's a good kid, and he's a tough kid. He's only
well, the Big Reds have blocked 2 punts
pounds
already. They got 10 guys up front. Riverside, I don't know if they look like they're really ready. I want to tell you, they're going for 3.
He hurried that one up, and it wasn't a good punt. And they got Tony Morrison back deep, and he put some moves on, and he's going to get about 5, I think, out of that return. So Big Reds are going to have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line.
4:16 to go in the first half, folks. And you got to think the Big Reds are going to just try and methodically run the ball for the next 4 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first half. Try and punch it in one more time for another score before halftime. That score of 21-0 now. Parkersburg in the lead is a little more indicative of the performance the Big Reds have been putting on here this evening over Riverside Warriors.
Tony Morrison in motion. They're going to hand it to him off the right side.
He's got room. He's got outside room.
All kinds of room. Stay in bounds, Tony. And he's going to get about 13 on that play, John. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Big Reds, and they're in the Riverside territory, about the Riverside 46-yard line. Let's keep that clock a-rolling, boys. It's getting close to my bedtime.
That didn't take long. I think Tony was almost surprised he had as much room out there as he did to run. He wasn't quite sure what to do with it there at first, but he made the smart move and stayed in bounds and picked up a quick 13 yards.
Tony's an important part of this. They missed him a little bit last week, and they're going to give it to Andy. Same play the other way, and Andy's going to be drugged down. Number 2 dragging down number 2.
That might be the first play dropped for a loss this evening. Maybe 1 or 2 others that were for a short loss, but you're right. He lost 5 yards on that. Good defensive play at that time. Clock continues to tick with 3.5 minutes to go in the halftime, with the Big Reds maintaining their 21-0 lead over the Riverside Warriors.
That was Matt Humphrey, and he has come into the game. He had 6 tackles, 2 assists, and he had 1.5 sacks. So he's used to being in that backfield.
Jeremy Rose just checked into the game, and that might be an illegal substitution. Although we don't have the 25-second clock ticking, so that might be a delay game as well. We're not sure. They're keeping. It was a legal substitution. Well, for the first time this evening, the Big Reds have moved backwards, and they're in a 2nd and 20 situation.
Is that our first penalty tonight? I don't recall.
That could be. It could be.
Is that our first penalty tonight, Coach Way? Is that our first penalty tonight?
It's the first one that I recall. But then again, we've kind of been hanging out for about an hour, so it's a long time.
Tony in motion. And we got something dropping back, and he's going to let one fly. Jeremy Rhodes brings it in at the 20-yard line. Nice catch. He was under coverage. He was covered by 2. He felt one coming, and he had enough concentration to keep the ball stay in bounds. What a play.
Timing was perfect on the throw and the catch.
And I'll tell you what, Suffin took a lick, and he stayed in there. He saw it coming. He released the ball. Nice play. That was a big-time play.
That was a big-time play. You're exactly right, Shenny. Kyle had the heat coming right behind him, and just right after he threw the ball, half a step away was a defender putting a lick on him.
Joey in the tailback and at fullback, and they're going to set Andy in motion. They're going to give it to Joey off the left side. He's going to cut it outside.
Yeah, he is.
And Andy's got a block for him, and it looks like Joey may have stepped out of bounds, but I don't think the ref saw it.
He did.
But, yeah, I think he may have called it where he stepped out.
But the clock continues to tick. He stepped out of bounds, but the clock continues to tick.
Yeah, they're calling for it to stop the clock right now. So. I'll tell you what, that was a well-executed play. And if they had just a little more room, I think Joey might have been able to spring it.
Yeah.
Andy was leading the way out there, and
he had the blocking. He was trying to tightrope the sidelines, but just not quite able to sneak down there.
Joey's all feet, man. He's got big feet.
And I tell you what, he made that cut awful quick. He was going
hard to keep those things in bounds.
Going just up the left side of the line and saw that it was blocked, so he made a quick transition step to the outside and tried to skim along that sideline.
They're trying to put time on the clock. Yeah, they did.
It looks like a little much, but
I'll tell you what, I don't think 12 seconds ran off the clock.
No, I was thinking more like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I didn't do that much.
No, I'm not sure the play started with that much time on the clock.
I don't.
But nonetheless, that gives Big Red some
what
more
we're
time to
dealing
put
with
it in the end zone. We'll have to get back to
Although
that.
they've done a good job tonight. I'll give them that.
Oh, there's the inside counter.
And I don't know if Tony was expecting to take that. But he got some positive yards there, I think. Nah, maybe not. It's going to make it 3rd and a yard.
Might we see that quick quarterback sneak up the middle that Kyle
quick hitter
pulled off about 7 yards for last time? That way we can Big Reds can just get a first down here.
I saw Barbersville do that to us 1995 probably, or 1994, right before the year before he became Calvin Midland. He took it to the house, about 80 yards for a touchdown.
Oh, I remember that.
There it is. You called it, and it's going to be enough for the first down.
That's enough for the first down.
It's going to be inside the 10, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Big Reds. Sutphin with about 2 yards on the dive there, on the quarterback sneak.
I have to give the coaching staff credit for that play call. Pretty good call.
I'll tell you what, it may be for the marker's just inside the 10, so it's going to be 1st and goal for the Big Reds. They've got the chains up still.
They got 2 minutes to go. Well, yeah, they might just.
They may keep the chains up, just keep them up. But
Kyle's keeping it. He's
going to keep it himself.
He's in the end zone.
And he got in for a touchdown. It's 27. And Kyle runs that option really well for a big kid.
Yes, he does.
You know what I mean? He's a big, tall kid, and he moves well and runs that option well. Threw a great pass here. I think he's really coming into his own. I know he struggled a little bit last week when they got behind, but he's done a great job tonight.
He did, and last week again against Woodrow Wilson Beckley, I think there were some adjustments made at halftime, and Kyle came back in the 3rd period. And I believe they had 8 first downs, but just couldn't amass enough points on the board. But you're right, Shenny. Kyle, 6'4", 210 senior, is doing a fine job adjusting and playing nice and strong this year.
Bobby Hopkins is in for his 4th extra point of the night, and we might as well just stay here, John. I'll tell you what. I thought the defense was going to be my player of the game in that first half, and then Joey finally, after that strip, he came back and played well and looked good, was running the ball hard, and now Kyle's playing a heck of a ball game. I don't know. I might have a couple different players of the game. Are we allowed to do that?
This is going to be a tough one. There's still another half to go, but at the rate that the Big Reds are racking up these points, my goodness, 21 points unanswered in the last approximately 6 minutes here since the rain delay has ended. Big Reds have just taken control of this contest, as really they were prior to the delay, but not on the scoreboard.
Tyler's on the kick for the Big Reds, and back deep once again for the Warriors is Chad McClure, 5'8", 165. I'll tell you what, there's 2 minutes to go, 1:54 to go, and Coach Way, the soccer coach of all sports, let us know that we have 3 timeouts. We could get the ball back.
There's no doubt about it. I can see the Big Reds scoring again here as quick as this has started to pound out here in the last 6 minutes off the clock. They hold them 3 and out. They certainly can punch it in one more time. They've maintained field position the entire evening.
Dustin Combs leading the way on the kick. And there's another. That's a good kick. That's a real nice kick. He's going to take it at the way almost up to the end zone. That was a great kick. And there's Dustin Combs. He missed. I'll tell you what, though. He slowed the play up. He broke down there, slowed the play up.
He broke down. It was a hard open field tackle, and
it was a nice deep kick, but it didn't have a lot of hang time. So he kind of outkicked his coverage there, in that McClure had time to make a move and see what was going on. So
yeah, and Chad McClure, the junior from Riverside, number 3, made a nice little spin move there to get out of that trouble and get a few extra yards out of it.
I'm looking for Bernie to use some timeouts here. He's got 3.
$1:46 to go in the first half.
This is the regular pro set, 2 wide. We're going to start throwing the ball.
Surge is so quick up that middle.
There for a 2-yard loss. Let's call a timeout, guys.
Surge is so quick
up that middle. Let's call a timeout. Let's call. There he is. Coach Eddie's out on the field yelling for a timeout. He got it.
Are you coaching up here?
Hey,
you called the timeout.
I think they may have heard me.
Nice job. And why not get some more points, folks?
Oh, let's go.
I mean, this is football. This is football. The more points you get, the better your chances are of winning. We got another half of football to play, and who knows what can happen. We've all seen games that have turned on a dime and a half. Although at this point, I think the Big Reds are still getting warmed up, to be honest with you.
I remember scoring a lot of points like this in the first half against this team about 5 years ago. And then found ourselves with about a minute and a half to go in the fourth quarter losing.
Oh, yeah.
On Wheeling Island. So they pulled it out. So, I think that this is a much different Riverside team than we faced.
This Riverside team is apparently not as talented. They may have the speed. I haven't seen it yet. The blocking has not been there.
We were talking about
execution hasn't been there.
Their depth chart, people playing that weren't on their depth chart, and they had 2 weeks to prepare, so they may be a little bit banged up too.
Second 12 situation with $1:34 to go in the half. Big Red's going to try and hold him again.
Here comes Dustin Combs.
I'm telling you,
he waiting on.
He cannot even, and wisely calls another timeout. The Big Reds, Dustin Combs wisely calls another timeout for the Big Reds. And there's still a minute 27 to go in the first half. And I'll tell you, as hard as Riverside's trying to get their pass formations in and plays off, they can't even get set up to throw the ball. The Big Red
defensive front's too fast.
Yeah, the defensive front is paneling them through there. That they've been shooting some of the corners and backers through on different stunts, and Riverside's not even have a chance to set up, let alone even make the throw.
Well, the Big Reds don't have a lot of size on that front seven, but man are they strong and man are they fast. And in high school football, West Virginia high school football, you can get away with that. I mean, I remember years playing teams like Capital and teams from down there in that valley like Riverside. They weren't always made of big, strong guys. And they always had some little quick hitter, nose guard, or something like that. And we have too in years past. And you don't always have to be as big as that. As my dad always used to say, BIG doesn't spell tough.
That's right. Those big and bulky guys sometimes end up being more of a detriment than an asset.
So here we go. It's third, and it looks like to be 19 or 20 with a minute 27 to go. And Riverside scrambling. Here comes Chad. The
Big Reds want the ball back again and try to put some more points on the board.
Defensive front shifting. And Joey's right in his face. Jenkins almost had one there. So we're going to get the ball back, boys, with a minute 22.
Josh Jenkins.
Now, I would have liked to have seen him pull that thing in and rumble.
I think he'd be in the end zone without a doubt. He let that ball go right through his hands. I don't think he realized it was coming until it was just a little too late to close the gap. But
he's a real athletic kid. He wouldn't have had a problem getting into the end zone.
Not at all.
He had a lot of real estate in front of him. So.
No, he did. That would have been in the end zone. That stopped the clock, of course, on an incomplete pass with a minute.
So here we go. You think we're coming, John?
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Call it safety, Shenny. But there is a flag, and I don't know what it is. I didn't see it.
I was looking down on my stats here.
The Big Reds may have jumped off sides. I didn't see it, but
bad snap.
I don't think it was an illegal substitution or formation. They may have jumped just a little too quick. The snap went into the end zone for safety. Oh no, that'd be the offense.
See, that's one of those penalties. Now they get another shot at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because it was a dead ball. The Big Reds, I agree, ought to have the opportunity to decline that play.
Yeah, because we got a safety there. It's 30-0. Let's get the ball back.
Yeah.
Get the ball back again.
Exactly.
It's this punter scared to death.
Yeah, sure.
And they're loading. Look at the Big Reds. They're loading up the right side. Bad snap. He bounces it. Andy Thomas is almost there. Mason picked the ball up.
Well, I don't know.
He's limping around.
Yeah, I think just Wise is going to let it go.
That's okay.
That still gives the Big Reds a minute and 8 seconds, and I tell you what, with the speed that they've scored the last 3 touchdowns, a minute and 8's plenty of time to get in the end zone. Only 46 yards to do it.
So Joey looks to be standing on the sidelines for this. I don't know if he's going to stay on the sidelines. I don't know who they've got in there. He may have his brother Matt.
Now Matt's not bad himself. He scored a touchdown in that Greenbrier East game.
Matt standing on the side, so he's. They're spreading him out.
Tony Morrison's in there. We got Kyle in the shotgun.
Right, Pausley to the left all by himself, and Kyle's going to roll right out of the shotgun, release a quick hitter down to Andy Thomas. Andy's going to cut back into the middle. He's going to get the first down.
First down, that's going to stop the clock with 59 seconds to go.
Now, Bernie, looks like Bernie's calling for them to hurry it up. They should have a play called. They don't need to get in the huddle. I'm sure they do. 59 seconds to go. We got plenty of time here, guys. The chains aren't even set yet.
No.
Don't huddle up.
No.
Get on the line.
Riverside is not ready for this either. They're confused. They're trying to point out who's going to go
where. The
where.
Big Reds are looking a little confused to me. They need to have a couple plays called here. They don't need to be huddling up.
Same play to the other side, and almost the same effect.
They're going to stop the clock here for a measurement. They got to stop the clock for a measurement.
I don't know if it's close enough for measurement. It should be. Yes, they are. Oh no, the Big Reds are going to be charged with a timeout.
Oh man,
that will be their
last one.
Last timeout. That's right.
All right, call a couple plays here, Coach. We don't need to be going back into the huddle with 40 seconds left. I'm sure Bernie knows that. I don't need to tell him. Well, the moon's back out.
The storms may have passed us. The full moon is back out this evening. A little higher. A few clouds over top of it, but
you know, I noticed coming into the game, Riverside has ran a total of 121 offensive plays to their opponent. They've ran 47 more plays than their opponents coming into the game, according to their statistics. You know, that's ball control. And I mean, I'm sure that Hurricane game was a 14-13. But tonight,
well,
they've had all 3 and outs except one. One series I have one first down.
Pretty much, you're right. They've only had one first down, and again, their first game was
Tony in motion.
There's a nice pitch out to Tony on the outside.
Get out of bounds, Tony.
To run. Picks up the first down, and then some inside the 20 in the red zone.
35 seconds to go, first down.
The first game of the year, Riverside was wiped out by Beckley. Woodrow Wilson, 25-0, I believe, was the score. And those stats that you mentioned were certainly included in that first game. So they apparently were able to control the ball a little bit better against Beckley, Woodrow Wilson. And certainly
Beckley had a couple 3 quick hitters on us. You know, only takes one play. So Kyle's rolling right. We got trips right. He's got all kinds of time. He's going to let it go. And there's Tony Morse waiting on it. And, it was almost picked off.
Little long. I think Riverside's picked up on that now. The Big Reds, of course, are out of timeouts.
Nick Veazey was on the coverage there. Almost pulled that one in.
28 seconds to go in the half, a 2nd and 10 situation, Shenny. Now, you got to think that, although it's a little long, I think it's a potential field goal situation if they don't get it in the end zone here to try and tack on a few more
Joey
points.
Lindeman's still on the sidelines.
Or resting out the rest of the first half. Maybe even sitting
Twins was they got Charlie Taylor in a fullback. They're going to get fake to Andy. They're going to run a screen to Charlie. And that, you know,
they're going to have to hustle on the
get
ball.
You about 7.
The clock is stopped.
There's a flag.
That's why.
Okay, you've probably got 2 more plays in the end zone, and then let's kick a field goal.
Yeah, I think trying to get in field goal position here, just in case they don't get in the end zone. Flag is for. You're going to have that on a screen sometimes up the middle. Those big guys getting down there ready to block for the receiver, and sometimes get in front of the receiver a little more than they need to be.
That's going to make it 2nd and 10. I got to think you're either going to take 2 shots at the end zone or 2 shots to the out of bounds.
Yeah.
And the clock is running. The clock has started back up, so you may only get 1 shot.
Quick shot here.
Then you got to line up and kick a field goal. Now, Kyle, you got to get. All right, let's kick a field goal.
That's kind of a long field goal, Shenny.
You can do it. See? Bobby's got a good leg.
It's about a 40-yard field goal. No, I'm sorry. Yes, about a 40-yard field goal.
You're right. It is a 40-yarder on the button. He's got the hash.
Going to give him a shot at it with a 28-0 lead,
right,
trying to get
Bobby.
some bonus points before half.
Let's see what you got here, Bob.
He was kicking them at halftime, or at pregame. That's all kinds of distance. I think that's good.
Nope, it's short.
Just a little short, I'll tell you. Looked like it was going to go right through. That left 2 seconds on the clock for Riverside to take over. Big Red sure maximized the last 7 minutes of this half since the rain delay, the 45-minute rain delay, tacked on 21 unanswered points. And one play, you got to think Riverside will take a knee, but maybe we'll take one shot at it.
I say we get right into the third quarter.
They've already had their halftime rest, you'd think.
But Mr. Hayden's up here in the box tonight, and according to him, if there was more than 5 minutes on during the Lightning, as the delay was called for Lightning, you were required by rule to take the 20-minute halftime. So,
and that'll be all the first half.
We're looking at a 20-minute halftime here, guys. So, from Stadium Field, 28-0 Big Reds, and they've dominated the first half. We will be back with the second half of action right after this. It looks like they've got 10 minutes on the clock, so it looks like we're going to shorten our halftime to 10 minutes.
It does. Mr. Hayden must have been wrong.
Oh, no, never. Tyler Warner's going to kick it, and it's a high kick, not real deep. He's going to take it at about the 12, and the Big Reds are closing in. Joey was closing in and kind of got shanked.
Bounced right back up and got on top of the pile.
Almost was late coming in. He slid in there a little bit late, but that was a nice run back by Chad McClure. Going to take him out to about the 35-yard line. Pretty good field position to start the second half.
Well, Riverside does start in decent field position here, 30-yard line. I'm trying to recall, have they crossed midfield?
Yeah, they were down in they were in the red zone.
They were in the red zone on the turnover, on the turnover from the punt. Other than that turnover and the
that
punt.
was the same drive they got the first down.
Other than the turnover and the punt, have they been in?
They're lone first down.
I don't think they've crossed midfield other than that. They've got 20 yards to get there, starting on the 30-yard line.
There's McClure getting wrapped up by Dustin Combs.
And with that kind of defense, I don't see it happening. Riverside continues to try and run the ball. That means the clock's going to continue to run off. And if they want to put points on the board, they're going to have to move a little more quickly than that. Although when they tried in the first half, it just seemed that they couldn't even get set up to make the pass. I think there were probably more sacks than there were incomplete passes in the first half.
Zach Garrett, Sergio Bracamontes all over the play. Looked like they were trying to come out with a little option play, and Josh Clark couldn't get the ball.
Another TFL, another tackle for loss for the Big Red defense.
So Chad McClure. Chad McClure has 29 carries for 123 yards this year, 4 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns. He's not showing that tonight.
No, that isn't happening here. It's going to affect those statistics, and it's going to increase the Big Red statistics from a defensive standpoint. Oh, my goodness. Tony Morrison shot through that gap between the center and the guard on the right-hand side. They split it. He jumped right through there. The quarterback was still backpedaling, and Tony just was all over him. All over him, bringing down a 5-yard loss.
Josh Clark was a little slow getting up. Mason Roberts back deep for the Big Reds here, and I think we might start to see some second stringers.
I think second, third teamers are going to be playing here before the game's over. Right now, the Big Reds, I think, would like to continue to move the ball a little bit. Oh, now there, I'll tell you what, there's a flag right there, number 27 for Riverside. Daniel Burke had a late grab on Surge's helmet and tried to throw him down. It's going to be 15 yards additional against Riverside. Yep, personal foul. And that was after the play was over. A little frustration coming out from Riverside there. Just kind of grabbed Surge by the helmet and was trying to throw him down. Surge didn't go down, but the officials were right on it. And, rightfully threw the flag.
I think we're going to see Andy at quarterback. I think we're going to see Andy at quarterback, and I think that's a good idea. I think you got to let, you want to let your guys play, because I think by pulling those guys early in the Greenbrier East game may have hurt them against Woodrow Wilson. Not let them. So, but they got a lot of time in the day. They played 2 quarters and a couple minutes into the third quarter. And I think Andy needs to get some reps at quarterback as well, because you never know.
I think that's an excellent point, Shani. That may have hurt them against Woodrow Wilson. They did have pretty much an easy game with Greenbrier East, the Big Reds.
Joey, their starters didn't play past the first quarter. Joey Lindemood had 41 yards rushing. He only played the first quarter.
Yeah, some teams like to pad the statistics for their star players, their runners, their quarterbacks. And the Big Reds don't do that. They like to try and get everybody into play, and even though they've got some of the best players in the
I agree
state.
with getting everybody playing time. Joey's a returning first-team All-Stater. He's got colleges looking at him, and he's a Kennedy Award candidate. I think you need to get him more than 41 yards.
Yeah, it may have been a little too early against the Greenbrier East game. He's still in there right now and gained a couple yards and was stuck on that play. It's one of the few times that he's been stopped for only 2 yards. He usually punches out 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah. We're complaining about a 2-yard gain.
Makes a nice little cut back there, and without a shoestring tackle, might have been able to break that for a little bit more, at least for a first down, bringing up a 3rd and short situation now.
3rd and 3, the clock says on a running clock, but I don't think it's quite 3 yards. It's close. I'll give him 3. Rhodes coming in, Pausley coming out. Andy taking the play, and we better hustle up here.
Again, the 25-second clock is not operating, so we can't tell you, and that's unfortunate for the players because they don't know how much time is left to snap the ball. The officials are keeping that on the field. Nice little quarterback sneak, big hole up the right-hand side.
Oh, Andy, he got blindsided there. He didn't see that corner coming back up.
What he saw was that orange pylon in the corner of the end zone, and he was trying to make his way for it, and like you said, got blindsided on the way there. But did pick up the first down and a few more yards after that.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Big Reds from their own 23-yard line, and we're getting ever so close to that red zone again.
Clock continues to tick. It did not stop to move the chains. We're down to 8:16 to go in the 3rd period. The Big Reds with a commanding lead and performance tonight.
We pitch out to Joey Lindemood.
He's got blockers. He's got a hole.
I'll tell you what, they closed in on him quick, but he broke through a couple tackles, went out of bounds. Joey, stay in bounds. That's going to be close to a first down for the Big Reds. And
about a 7-8 yard pickup, it looks like.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to sound negative by any stretch, but this Riverside team, I just never, they're always one of the top teams in the state. I'm just surprised at how young or how down they are this year.
To be honest with you, I don't see any more competition from this Riverside team than the Greenbrier East team gave the Big Reds a couple of weeks ago.
I don't know about that. I thought that was. We've got junior high teams in Wood County that could beat. I watched Edison the other night play. They could probably beat that Greenbrier East team. But Greenbrier East punched one in against Woodrow Wilson tonight. Had a touchdown tonight. So that's going to be a first down, and they're inside the 10, so it's going to be 1st and goal on a running clock underneath 8 minutes.
Big Reds looking to add some points to that total.
Combs at no fullback now for the Big Reds. Rhodes split wide. Morrison
going to be a
wing.
Little flip to the corner of the end zone.
Andy's going to give it to Joey right behind his old buddy Combs, and I can't tell who came squirting through there. That was Seth Cook, 6'1", 273-pound senior.
He didn't look that tall, but maybe that's because he's pretty wide.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
But he grabbed a hold of Joey, and he wasn't going to let that one go. Clock continues to count down in the 3rd period here, coming up on 7 minutes to go in the game. Big Reds have a 2nd and goal situation from the 9-yard line.
Andy under center. Joey at the top of the eye. And they're going to give it to Combs. And Combs is going to get him down to about the 5.
Right up the gut.
Looks like the 4. Looks like they're giving him a pretty good spot. They're now just inside the 5.
Smash mouth, grind it out, down the middle, football.
3rd and goal.
There were quite a few nice pass plays this evening. The one in particular, 3rd and long situation, Kyle timed it perfectly as he was getting ready to get hammered, and completed it to was it Tony? Tony Morrison?
No, it was Jeremy Rhodes.
Jeremy Rhodes. Okay. It was a nice completion there to keep that drive alive, and And passed it when they had to and completed it when they had to, the Big Reds have.
Combs is the lone setback of fullback Tony going in motion. They're going to give it to Combs on the right side, and he fumbled
the ball. And it's still loose, fighting for it, and it looks like Riverside's got it. The Big Reds turn the ball. You know, it's hard to believe that's the 4th turnover for the Big Reds this evening, and they have a 28-0 lead.
Doesn't happen very often.
No.
Wow. I'd like to see Combs get a touchdown. I think that's what Bernie was thinking, but he never really. I don't think he ever really got the ball there. I'm about ready to ask for the mercy rule here. Let this clock run.
Yeah. Actually, I think they did let it run on a couple of those first downs.
Did. I don't think Dick would let that happen.
They didn't stop it on moving the chains for the first down. Here. Now, it's possible the Big Reds could get a touchdown on defense if they continue to play as strong as they have in that type of play.
The big arm of Josh Jenkins. Got hands like skillets coming up there, knocking the ball down.
You don't have to tell him twice he's on the goal line. It's not often defenders have an opportunity to score, especially on the defensive line. So you can best believe this guy's going to be punching through there for all they've got to try and come across for a score for the defense. Of course, the safety is a possibility as well. We thought the Big Reds had a safety earlier with a snap over the head of the punter.
Well, that's interesting.
Quarterback and the 2 backs in the I formation, all three in the end zone.
And there's going to be a gain. About 5. Nah, I'll give him 3.
It allows the clock to continue to tick down in the Big Reds' favor. And again, Shenny, a score of 28-0 seems like a pretty solid lead right now when you consider the fact that Big Reds turned the ball over 4 times. Riverside, I believe, has only had 1 first down. The only time they've been in the Big Reds territory was when the Big Reds fumbled the ball. It's been a completely dominated game by the Big Reds. They've dominated Riverside, which is, again, as we've stated before, usually a pretty close game.
Yeah, it's always a good ball game.
There's the 2nd first down of the evening for Riverside.
Nice play. Just laid it out there. He was under pressure. I thought Mosley was going to make a play on it there, but
that ball hung up there. You're right, a little bit, and I thought maybe Andy was going to try and make a grab for
Mosley.
Was that PJ?
Yeah, it was about a 25-yard gain there for Riverside, and the clock is running. Down under 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter, and we've got some students over in the visitors' side. Filling up one row about 10. I'm trying to get the wave going. There's only about 10 people on that side. There's big Josh Jenkins, and he moves well for a big guy. And here comes Justin Atkins. They're all coming. There's some big guys moving pretty well there. And he's going to be short of the first down and chased out of bounds, and that's going to stop the clock with 4:44 to go. I think this is what's going to happen is this kid's just going to start going left and right all by himself.
Well, there hasn't been much success with him going up the middle or the right or the left to the backfield. I mean, it's been stuffed all night long by the Big Reds defensive line of scrimmage that have played tremendously well. And before too long, we're going to have to come up with a player of the game here. And the team's played extremely well. We've had the special teams block a punt, score a touchdown with it. We've had our starting quarterback, Kyle Seppin, play an extremely good game. Joey Lindemood played a phenomenal game. I think we started talking about the defense taking it. He must have heard us because he stepped it up a notch.
Jeremy Rhodes had a nice punt, block, and return for a touchdown.
Yes.
And also had a nice catch down there. He might throw Jeremy in the mix there as well. I mean, it's a wide-open game as far as who's going to be your player.
It is. He's played well around Josh Jenkins. I mean, it's not often you give the player of the game to a lineman. He's played extremely well. The whole team has played well, really.
Riverside in a shotgun, and little screen, and there's nothing there. Well, cut back across the field. Joey's waiting on him. Joey and Jeremy Rhodes. Joey looked like he was getting out of the way of a back truck. He just submarined him there. About the same time, Jeremy Rhodes took him high, and
figured if he took his legs out, he couldn't run anymore. You know, Serge has also had an extremely good game, especially on defense. He's been popping through there and just not allowing Josh Clark, Riverside's quarterback, any time at all to move the ball.
Serge comes full time. I don't think I've ever seen that kid drop back into coverage on anything until right here.
His slow is fifth gear. There he is again, in on the stop. Reads the ball well, reads the play.
We got run over there. He got caught up in that, took a shoulder there and pulled him. Well, but he got the tackle, and there's another first down for.
Now this is the best. This is the best drive that Riverside has had all evening. They started on their own 1 yard line. They're still not quite to midfield. They've had, I think, 3 first downs now in this drive, sitting on the 44 yard line of their own. So they've got a long way to go yet, but and it looks like the Big Reds still have most of their starting defenders in there. Oh, Joey.
And, Andy.
That play. Boy, Joey was in there quick, forcing the pass. And that was a near disaster for Riverside.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple things that could have happened there. Joey's about ready to lay a lick on Josh Clark, and then Andy, if Andy was a step up there, he may have been able to pick off him.
That did stop the clock with 2:55 to go in the third period.
Big Reds have 7 in the box, and they're bringing everybody out.
Oh, my.
Drop. Incomplete pass.
PJ was kind of sniffing that one out. I think if he timed that a little bit better, he may have still been running with the interception.
Possibly.
And again, it stops the clock with a 3rd and 10 situation, 2:51 to go in the third period. Big Reds maintaining a 28-0 lead over the Riverside Warriors.
Big Reds back, 7 men in the box, 6 men in the box. Sergio's showing he's coming. Morrison showing, looks like he's coming, and they're coming. And Sergio's untouched and misses.
Oh, how did he miss him? How did he?
You need to get up, Sergio. He may be coming back. And Joey was able to make the play, keeps the clock running. Sergio had him wrapped up, and
well, he didn't have him wrapped up. He had him, but not quite tight enough, or he would have been down for a 10-yard loss.
Looks like we've got an injury. Josh
Clark, senior starting quarterback from Riverside.
He's holding his.
Might be a cramp.
I know he was tying his shoe. It looks like he lost his shoe. And Riverside's going to punt. We've got Mason Roberts back deep, and I'm going to say he's calling a fair catch.
Well, Riverside's punter has gotten a lot of work this evening. It's a fake punt, and that's a good call, Riverside's part. They have nothing to lose at this point. And I'm afraid that I see a little bit of stretching going on there.
I think you got him.
Is that Jeremy Rhodes?
Yeah, it was Jeremy Rhodes. Got a little cramp in his calf there.
Maybe it could have been a touchdown saving
fake. Boy, that was a great fake. Great call.
That was a good call. They got nothing to lose. They have no points on the board.
It's going to give them the ball inside the Big Reds 30-yard line.
Jeremy's on the sideline over
defensive
here.
back in there. Anthony Thorpe is in for Jeremy Rhodes, who's cramping up.
See if Riverside picks up on that.
Anthony's a sophomore, 5'11".
If they decide to continue running up the middle.
And the clock is running. We're getting ready. We're getting close to the fourth quarter. About a half-a-yard gain there.
And Jeremy's coming back in the game, just a short cramp.
Anthony got into play with. He's in the record books.
Minute and a half to go in the third period. Riverside trying to put some points on the board. They've been shut out completely here this evening. Have not had any drive until this one. That's a lateral, actually. Big Reds are all over that. I think Jeremy's still gimping up a little bit there. He hasn't worked that cramp out yet. There's about 4 or 5 yard pickup though on that pass play, Shenny.
That's going to make it 3rd and 5, and the clock's still rolling. We're down underneath a minute now, and I keep seeing these substitutions in Riverside. I see one guy go out, 3 come in, and I don't see the other guys going out. Looks like they're playing with 13, 14 guys.
Serge isn't going to miss him this time. He ain't going to miss him this time. He said, no way. No way.
It's going to be about a 13-yard loss for Riverside. Sergio is not going to miss that one. We're down to about 30 seconds to go in the quarter, and you got to go for it here.
Yeah, they have no choice.
5'9", 175 pounds. If Sergio Bracamontes is 175 pounds,
a tough ball player all year. He hustles out there, Serge does. Good job.
He's more
number 15.
He's closer to 150. He's a tough little nut. And here he comes again.
Along with Josh Atkins, that's almost intercepted that time. It was.
I'll tell you what, we're
so
in the
close.
drill action again there.
Yeah.
Rhodes comes up and breaks up the play and just happened to look the wrong way. If he'd have turned the other way, the ball came right down in his hands and he'd have been hustling.
Well, folks, we don't have the statistics in front of us at this point, but I can tell you that Riverside, in sum total on that drive, gained approximately 60 yards, 61 yards, and that is by far has got to exceed their total up to this point in the game. I mean, this one drive, they have over 60 yards, and there have been a lot of plays. I mean, a lot of plays where they've had negative yardage this evening. And it's not just 1 or 2. We had a 13-yard loss here. There have been quite a few. There's 3, 4, 5, or 7-yard loss. Big Red defense has been playing pretty strong.
Well, the Big Reds are going to get the ball at their own 37-yard line. 1st and 10, 12 minutes ago. Let's keep this clock running. Let's go, boys. It's 10:30. I got to go let my dogs out. And I'm tired.
West Virginia Mountaineers playing a little over 12 hours.
Is that a noon game?
12 o'clock kickoff tomorrow with Maryland.
I'll be sitting at home on my couch waiting for Notre Dame, Michigan State. Charlie Weiss, my new hero.
You can enjoy some blue and gold football as they get a little payback over Maryland tomorrow.
Well, I'd like to see that.
We're getting ready to start the 4th quarter with the Big Reds taking possession. 12 minutes to go in the game.
Fans are reminded, Big Reds are back in action next Friday night as the Big Reds travel to Huntington. Kickoff scheduled for 7:30.
Riverside still unable to muster any points on the board this evening. That was their best drive for the evening. And it looks like for the most part the Big Red defense starting unit was in there. So
yeah, the Big Reds go to Huntington next week.
Yes, they do.
How is Huntington? I think they lost their first game, right? I've not kept up on them. I know Hurricane was supposed, they were expecting some things on Hurricane. I mean, this Riverside beat Hurricane by a point. So there's Dustin Combs in the fullback position. Dustin's one of these kids, they just moved to fullback this year. Dustin didn't play football in junior high. He played 9th grade and was a leader on the Jackson football team. Didn't play as a 10th grader. Came out last year and was a man. I mean, did a great job, coming out late in his, halfway through his high school career, and has been a leader and has done a great job. Moved him to fullback this year. He can play just about anywhere. He's playing on the defensive line, the offensive line, and now fullback. And Andy faked it to him there. And
oh boy. Nice little move by
Andy. Looked like a
Andy.
little bit of a broken play there, and Andy got 2 yards.
It was. Joey was in position.
Andy's still down.
And Zach Nolan was pulling on that play from the guard position.
Andy's.
Is that Andy down?
I think he got the wind knocked out of him, to tell you the truth. He's a tough kid. Yeah, he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Of course he's a tough kid. He's a wrestler.
Yep. And my heart jumped up in my throat there for a second when I saw him slow getting up. But I think he just probably got the wind knocked out. But he's got to come out for one play. And there goes Anthony Thorpe back in on offense now. Yeah, he's all right. You got to come out, Andy. He doesn't want to, but he's probably looking for his mouthpiece. His old buddy Zach Nolan comes out there to hand it to him. He's kind of maybe in that left side a little bit. He might have banged his. Who do we got in there quarterback? Do we have Tommy Little in? No, Anthony Thorpe. Andy seems to be all right as he's going over to the bench. The trainers aren't coming to take anything off of it.
A fumble on the snap?
On the snap.
Well, that's what's going to happen sometimes when you bring in a new QB.
Number 23. That's great. And here comes Matt Lindemood and Matt Winans and Vinny Conley. Not Vinny Conley, I'm sorry.
Zach Cross.
Vince Conley's son, Nathan Conley. Vinny Conley's not out this year due to health reasons. He was on the team last year, was in a car accident in the offseason, and has not been able to play this year.
Matt Winans also comes in. Matt's a 6-foot sophomore.
And I think
Tyler Warner's kick was straight up.
And looks like
it's a little bit of a bounce to help him out.
Matt, they're waiting on it, along with Jeremy.
The longer they let it roll, the more time ticks off the clock. Down to 10 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the game.
And Andy's back up moving. So, like I said, I think he may have just got the air knocked out of wind knocked out of him, and he's coming back in.
Well, this is the 100th year of Big Red football.
Sure hat on, Andy.
There aren't many high schools in the entire country that can say they've been playing football for 100 years. And in fact, there are only 7 schools in the entire country who have won more football games than the Parkersburg High School Big Reds. Quite a storied program here.
I think we only have 10 guys on the field. No, we don't. There we go. There's 11.
Joey fights off his block, and
Jeremy Rhodes. I think Joey might get. Clock's running. We're under 10 minutes.
Zach Garrett in there too, backing up
Dustin
Joey.
Combs. He's going to get in trouble for having that shirt untucked tomorrow morning. Glad to see Andy back in. Like I said, I think he's got the wind knocked out of him.
Justin Atkins doing a fine job.
Yeah, he's playing well. Justin's
playing a fine job. You know, there have been quite a few plays that Justin's been there in the thick of things, and we haven't really called his name or his number, but we recognize that he's been stuffing up that line, and I tell you what, Riverside's not giving up. Nice little slant play across the middle. I had to call his name, and he got hurt.
There's Atkins. I think that's Atkins down.
Yes, he's hurt his leg or his knee. I didn't see it happen, but he's
all right. He's all right.
Come out of play, limping a little bit.
He's all right.
He's on his own. He's out on his own. He's done a fine job tonight, as we were saying, Justin. Shake it off, get back out there, or rest up for next week. But they're doing a fine job stuffing the middle of that line, keeping the Riverside Warriors from getting any yardage across the line of scrimmage on the dive. They've not been able to do it because you've been in there stuffing them this evening. Good job.
Quick pitch. Oh, nice move. There's a hold in there.
Travis Bunner looked like he about got blocked in the back. I don't know if that's what the flag's for. It's downfield a little farther. He looks like he got pushed down from the backside.
Matt Humphreys got a little speed to him. Looked like going out through there. Hey, guys, let's keep the flags in our pockets. Let's get this thing over with. Well, I'll tell you what, the concession stands took a hit tonight. Might have to ask Mr. Lance for some money when we go to the BCEs this year.
Do they have any popcorn down there this evening?
Oh, yeah. We had all kinds.
Plenty of popcorn.
Nice and salty.
I know Mr. Lance had a little problem last week. They didn't have any popcorn, and
Mr. Hayden
was
it was $1 a bag. I told him it was $2 a bag.
Well, he collects all the money. He should have to pay a little bit more.
Him and Butch Power looking for some popcorn, and I think we sold out. Sell up some chicken sandwiches.
I think was that Charlie Taylor in on that stop as well? Get some playing time. I think so. Second and a long situation for Riverside.
I can't tell who has come in for. Oh, Travis Butter. That's who's in for Atkins right now, 51. And where are you, Serge? Nice play.
Yeah.
Joey down underneath.
Joey gets underneath. But I tell you what, it's getting close enough at the end of the game, Shenny. I'm going to say Joey Lindemood's my player of the game. He has played all around offense, defense, special teams, hustling in there.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic athlete.
I'd like to know how many yards he has.
Yeah, we're not able to get the statistics for you, but I do know that he's got quite a few of them added up, and he's been in there on every stop in defense. And then he and Serge have been bolting across that line of scrimmage, just creating all kinds of havoc for Riverside in their own backfield. Almost taking the handoff in some situations. Now, there's a holding right there.
Don't call it.
Nah, they're not going to call that. Zach Garrett got held on that by number 50, Julius Holbrook. He had him beat, crossing through that line. We saw you. We know you're probably wondering why it wasn't called, but there may be a sympathy non-flag there, bringing up 4th down and 10 with just under 7.5 minutes to go in the football game, folks. After a 45-minute lightning delay, it's going to be about 11 o'clock before this game's over. Quite a long game this evening. Serge puts the pressure on, delivers a hit.
Not enough. Big Reds are going to take
Not
over.
quite enough for the first down. That was 4th, making the stop. Jeremy Rhodes, about 2 yards short of the first down. Good job by the defense.
See Tommy Little?
Got a whole slew of new Big Reds coming in.
We're going to see Jordan Powell, 5'10", 135-pound 10th grader from Van Deventer Junior High, coming in for his first action as a varsity player for the Parkersburg Big Reds. Jordan.
Big Brian Darty's in there.
There's a bunch of them.
Number 73.
Nathan Conley. Chip Farrell.
Jordan Powell, the sophomore in there.
Quarterback. Matt Lindemood. Get the snap, Jordan. And they're going to give it.
I'll tell you what, that's not bad for some new guys. Not bad at all.
Zachary Duncan.
Not bad, Zachary. Good job. Zachary's a junior. Carries that ball for about 15 yards, 16 yards.
That's what it looked like.
They'd like to get some points on the board as well. Is that Randy Havner checking out
Andy?
Checking Andy out on the sidelines?
Andy, he was looking at his shoulder. Andy's nodding his head. He's okay. Andy had some trouble with his left shoulder.
But I think he's all right.
Yeah, he's got a knot on that shoulder that's been bothering.
Come on, Matt. There's a hole up the middle. Matt makes a nice move, and he picks up about 20 yards on that carry. Showing some signs of his big brother Joey on that run, wasn't he? Nice little spin, strong run up the middle.
Matt and Joey, man, those are two tough kids. I see those two go out in practice.
That's what brothers will do, right?
Yeah, they don't like each other in the wrestling ring.
Big Reds won another touchdown.
Boy,
6.5 minutes to go in the game.
I'd like to see Jordan Powell lead these guys down here for a touchdown. That'd be great. And Jordan's he's I think it's probably the fourth.
Nice little counter across the middle. He's got some blocking and some running room. Zach Cross taking the ball. Zach's a senior.
Jordan's a 5th-string quarterback, technically, as far as playing goes. I mean, you had your starting quarterback in Kyle. You had Andy.
Yeah.
Then they brought in Thorpe. And they've got Tommy Little, who starts JV. And they haven't put him in tonight because he's probably used all his quarters in JV. But, they don't want to use up his quarters for JV. And then now Jordan. So technically, he's fifth. And he hasn't played quarterback much.
And he's a sophomore. He's only 135 pounds.
He's a sophomore. He's 135 pounds. I'd like to see him lead them down there to a touchdown.
He's got some height on him. I'll tell you what, Matt's he's not going to quit running. He's not going to quit running.
And he's into a touchdown.
Matt Lindemood takes 3 defenders at least on his back for 5 yards, sprinting into the end zone for a about 22, 23-yard touchdown.
Jordan and Matt both. Yep. No, 18 yards. 18 yards.
18-yard touchdown, okay.
Matt looks like he's holding his arm coming off there now.
Tony Morrison, one of the first, congratulates him on the sideline.
That's a nice. Tommy Little's the holder. With 5:43 left, we're going to take a timeout and we'll hear from our sponsors. We haven't heard from them all night.
We'll be back momentarily. Big Red's getting ready to kick off with a 35-0 lead over Riverside. 5:43 to go in the game. Big Reds have completely dominated this contest, Shanny. Riverside only able to muster one significant drive for the entire evening, coming up short.
Nice kick. 5:43 to go in the game. 35-0. Big Reds will be first and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Say football fans, college football comes to Stadium Field on Saturday, October the 29th at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Fairmont State University and West Virginia Wesleyan. College football right here at Stadium Field on Saturday, October the 29th at 6 o'clock kickoff.
Travis Bunner coming in on the line.
Sergio's still in there. Combs.
Along with Paul Garrett. Still in there.
Matt Lindemood showing like he's coming.
Should delay a game maybe. I don't know if somebody jumped off sides there or not.
A couple of finals of local interest.
We got a couple scores.
From Marietta, Parkersburg South 40, Marietta 6.
40 to 6.
40 to 6. Parkersburg South over Marietta is the final. Number 9, Brandon Eccleberry coming in the game. Another sophomore. Looks like everybody's getting a chance to play tonight.
Parkersburg Catholic final, 28-0 over Cameron.
Good job, Parkersburg Catholic. Tell you, year in and year out, Parkersburg Catholic produces a winning team. And oh my goodness, PJ had 6 points right there. I think he saw it and just moved a little too quickly. That ball bounced off his shoulder pads before he knew it was there.
They're going to start chucking the ball all over the field, make this last 5 minutes seem like an hour.
There could be an interception and another touchdown to Big Red's way if Riverside continues that. Or it's possible with some of the younger guys in the secondary, Riverside could break one here and make it look a little more respectable on the scoreboard. Instead, they try a draw, and that goes nowhere but backwards for 3 yards, like quite a number of their running plays have this evening.
Corey clung in on that play.
I've said it again and again, but it just keeps happening.
Sean Chichester in, number 55. Number 51, Travis Bunner. I think you mentioned Travis earlier. Brandon Eccleberry. Trying to see if old buddy Joey Schaefer's in there. Doesn't look like he is. Brian, yeah, there he is, 75. Up on that defensive end.
Those guys are fresh. They're gung-ho, anxious, ready to play.
That first game's Joey. Joey was the one who picked up that fumble in the first play. And
oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what. That Big Red defense. First, second, third, fourth team. Doesn't matter. They're all playing consistent.
Yep.
Just an all-around good performance by the Parkersburg High School Big Reds tonight.
Matt Winans in on the tackle there. Special teams extraordinaire.
Not sure why Joey's rushing up to the sidelines here, thinking that he might get a chance to play. He's done for the night, and he's a player of the game. So,
yeah, I got to agree with you on that one. Joey's done a great job.
Starting the clock, fourth and forever.
Oh, come on.
Fair catch is called and missed, muffed, and Matt Lindemood wisely
comes up with it.
No, he
went
doesn't.
out of bounds.
No, he doesn't.
It
goes out of bounds. So,
we got it.
fortunately for the Big Reds, they maintain possession. That would have been the second muffed fumble for a recovery. Well, actually, that would be a fumble, the fifth fumble. 4 of them have been lost tonight. Is that correct?
That was a muff. Not a fumble. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Still, it would have been a turnover.
Yep, would have been a turnover. Big Reds take over on the Riverside 34-yard line.
And Powell's still in.
Well, who else are going to put in? They're down to the 5th-string quarterback. I didn't know we had 5.
I like it.
You know, let's get everybody a chance to play. I don't know if there is anybody that hasn't played yet this evening.
Adam Clegg, senior, 5'9", 115 pounds, is in at wide receiver. Matt Lindaby back in that fullback spot.
Got a feeling they're going to run. Trying to run the clock out, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. The Big Reds just continue to pound out the yardage.
Zach Cross tiptoed around the corner there, saw something, and boy, he exploded.
Big Reds got to have every bit of 300 yards offense this evening.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Most of it on the ground.
Clock's ticking. Here comes Matt Watt.
Chip Farrell's coming in the game. He's a junior.
Matt Watt, Chip Farrell.
You get so many guys coming in and out, it's we're going to be doing good just to get 11 guys out there, not 10 or 12. Clock continues to tick away now. 3:20 to go in the ball game. Big Reds maintaining a 35-0 lead. 2nd and 3. Ball on the 27-yard line.
You can play with 10.
Quick little handoff to Matt. And he's got all kinds of room on the outside here, Chen. He's crossing the 20. He's got the speed crossing the 10. Just stepped out of bounds at the 10-yard line. He was sniffing that end zone out. Won some bragging rights over his brother.
No, that was Zach Duncan. Yeah, that was Duncan, 45. That wasn't one.
That wasn't Matt. My apologies. So many guys coming in and out here, hard to keep track of everybody.
Keep Winans in there. Let's get Winans a touchdown. He's another wrestler. Let's get him a touchdown. I'll tell you what, Jordan Powell's done a nice job. You wouldn't know he was a 5th-string quarterback.
He's doing a fine job. You know, one of the things he's doing a good job with is one of the hardest. There we go. Look at this. Matt bouncing off, getting carried into the end zone by his own guy, Zach Walker, helping him pull his way in. How did he not go in there? It looked pretty good to me.
Well, he looked like Superman laid out in there. He wanted that ball. He wanted that touchdown.
But you're right. Jordan Powell doing a fine job coming in as a sophomore. Not a very big guy by